Did you not save the world?
Nah, I just gotta...
Did you not save the world?
Hello,
Nah,
hello.
I just gotta...
Make sure you mute your stream.
Yeah, don't worry, it's good. Back to Minecraft. Alright.
You mean back to Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes. So basically, what I'm thinking is walking this way is a little difficult, but walking this way is much harder.
Um,
Because you're walking across the pews rather than alongside them.
I don't see the visual for that one.
It's symbolic. The brown squares just mean they're pews.
Well, yes, but I can't actually see that.
Why
Right
not?
now you're scrolling up and down your stream.
Oh yeah, there's a bit of a lag. Um...
Oh! It's odd. It got turned into a 24-minute video.
There's a new one. Go to the channel and look at the newer one. I stopped and started again, so there's a new stream.
Ah, here we go. Did you remove that roof? Oh. I mean, a little bit of a roof is fine.
I just want to get some sense for how tall it is. That, of course, would be the blood god
Remember,
emblem.
each of these blocks is 5 by 5. So,
Is it too big?
I mean,
I can make it smaller.
you certainly can, but just trying to think. Like, there's no way to shrink your character, enlarge the blocks, so that they feel more realistic. They're always going to feel tiny, no matter what we do.
It's just a grid. Like, I never intended to make this Minecraft world actually look like the environment. It's just like a symbolic grid, which we're using to describe the spatial features of the map.
I get that, it's just... Alright, I can't quite see how big it is exactly. How long are those views? In feet.
Give me a second. Almost on here. The pews are 30 feet. That's maybe a bit too much.
I mean, I've seen some long pews, but,
They should probably be
maybe
like
not.
15
Yeah,
at
there
most.
should be, there should probably be some space at the end. So 20-foot pews with a 10-foot gap near the wall. Also, the
There's
pews themselves
5,
shouldn't
10,
be difficult
20,
terrain unless
15.
you're hopping over them.
Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, So, 55 feet long. That's a fairly big cathedral, but it's acceptable, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is on a ship, but, like, it's it's kind of a purpose built for a building ship.
We'll decide what the players' blocks are later. Are they actually getting ambushed in the cathedral, though?
I was thinking the pirates were gonna jump right through the windows. We should figure out where the windows are. And
There is a window right there, at
build walls.
least. So this is going to be like the stained glass mural of the blood chalice and all that.
No, what it was is that the windows are on the sides, and there's just a solid wall at the back, and the mural is painted on the shiplap wall. So there'd be maybe 5-foot wide windows, probably corresponding to the pews.
That's what I'm doing.
How many windows are there on each side?
1,
Five?
2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
That would be pretty convenient to have 10 pirates jump through 10 windows.
It would be pretty convenient.
Would the pirates organize something like that, though? Creative liberty. We're gonna have 10 pirates jump through 10 windows. Also, those last row of pews are in the wall. No, you can't place a sign on a skull, but I think you can place a skull on a sign.
Oh yeah, I could just...
Eh. Yeah, you can. Except it covers up the first line.
I found an alternate position. Just give me a second for the lag to go away.
Also, we probably shouldn't have it take up more than one block.
No, the pirate is just the skull.
Oh, alright. So we're just going to be using the skulls for pirates.
Yes.
I mean, we'll probably end up using those skulls for the general mooks in every fight.
Yeah, probably.
I was thinking about using the mob heads, but there's just not quite enough of them. Although, is there a mob head for every mob, or is it just...
You can get mob heads for players.
Well, yeah, but...
So for any given Minecraft skin, there does exist a mob head. For any given mob skin, for every given Minecraft skin which is in use, there does exist a mob head. There are actually quite a few of them.
Well, yeah, there's quite a few players.
But, like, there's a mob head for just about every mob in existence. Like, even the weird ones like mushroom cows and squids.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Yes, it's just... That's because Mojang made specific skins, like player accounts with skins that have those heads.
Ah.
So let's see, we should probably get like a general like street combat zone.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do like a poorman getting mugged in an alley.
I mean, we'll build the uh, map and then put the mooks on it as we see fit. Uh, Alleys are going to be a lot larger than that, and I believe most of it's going to be wood because we're in a flotilla.
Like, I really don't care what's what. I'm just using random blocks, so this would be... Poor bloke.
I mean, well, no, there aren't really streets. The gaps in between quote-unquote buildings are the literal gaps in the flotilla, which lead straight down into the water below.
Okay, so maybe he's getting ganged up on.
I mean, there's gangways, but those are like 5 feet wide.
Well, maybe he doesn't want to make the jump.
No, a gangway is a bridge.
And maybe the gangway is all the way over here, so this poor bloke can't get to it. And then maybe, like...
You know, if we make this poor bloke a block of wood, people are going to joke about wood.
Okay.
The thing about a flotilla is everywhere is indoors, technically. I mean, you could be on the deck, but I was thinking most of the gangways connect in a sort of open deck in the middle, and then the top decks are more like roofs.
Oh, so people stand like lower decks, like the interior with a ceiling?
Yeah.
I dislike that idea. Mostly because then we've got to have, like, artificial light lighting everywhere, and I don't know. I just sort of pictured this being
Well,
a
I
lot like a
mean, the
normal
buildings are
village.
really small, and there's lots and lots of windows.
I just pictured it
Um,
being like a normal village except floating in water.
I mean, it kind of is, but it, the thing about a flotilla is the only thing that there is the building. So you have to be able to get from one building to the next without, just going through the buildings. And there's gaps between the buildings, but they're crossed by gangways.
Yeah, we can put that on the top level, though. Like, if there are a bunch of boats connected to each other, they probably don't have tunnels from buildings to buildings or anything. Is there just a hole in the side of a boat with a bridge connecting to another boat? Then there would have to be holes in the boats.
I was
The
thinking
easiest...
that there would be a whole open deck. Like, there'd be the below decks, which are, built like a ship. And then there's masts running up to an upper building. And in the middle is this open deck.
How do they all connect to one open deck?
No, each building is built with an open deck. And the open decks are all built, at generally the same height so that way they can have gangways from one to the next.
So... But the gangways are on top, right?
You not an open. What I mean by an open deck is it's on top of the lower decks, which make up the boat, but it's not on top of the entire building. Like, there's a boat, and then there's a space, and then there's a building with masts running up to the building to support it.
So, like, I've got two boats here. They're adjacent to each other. A mast going up to an open deck. Can you see what I've built here?
Yeah, I can see two buildings up on masts over open decks. That's what I'm talking about.
So,
And
which area of this is the open deck? Is it this rectangle that I'm standing on?
No, under that. That's where the roof of the building is.
Wait, is this the floor of the building or the roof?
I was looking at it as generally as the block being the building, as if this was a scale model, but that would be the floor of the building. So there would be a roof above that. And then under there is where the open deck area is. And it has railings to keep people safe, but that they're not too high.
So, like, the upper level with all the buildings, that's like the commercial area, and then people live beneath.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's a public space in between so that everybody can get everywhere.
I wasn't, like... Okay, so this is like the public space.
Yeah. Like
then,
like the deck of a ship, and then it's got masts, but instead of having sails and rigging at the top, it's got a building.
So, like, the issue with this is that I just sort of pictured it as, like, a bunch of... Like, I didn't picture it as so organized.
Well,
Like,
I
with
mean,
this...
they built the flotilla to be a city. Outside of this central area, it's a lot more just ships moored together.
Okay, but, like... The party's gonna be on this layer of the flotilla.
Uh, which one are you referring to?
The upper layer with all the buildings.
I mean...
Are the boats above that?
No. The buildings are up in the sky. The boats are below the open deck. So when the party is traveling from boat to boat, from building to building, they're on the open deck below. But when they're up in the buildings, they go up a ladder or a staircase near the mast. Or one of the mini masts.
They start out in a cathedral, which is on the upper layer. And then they have to travel down to reach where all the boats are.
Yeah. I mean, to reach the open deck, which is on top of the boat.
The boats are even further below that. So,
well,
like, if I wanted to...
if you wanted to get into the boat itself, you would have to go below decks. Like the deck is the quote-unquote ground level in this city. The actual boat is below. It's like a basement. And the buildings are like, they like start at the second floor. So the first floor is the open deck. The second floor is the building, and the basement is the where the boat is.
So like this.
I mean,
so I guess my
not
question...
quite. It's the... There's technically only 2 levels. The public space is in the open space between the two. So, like... It's like if that block wasn't there and it was just that sign floating there.
So the public space is... So if you're in the public space, are you standing on a boat, or are you standing on some sort of floor which is supported by boats, or some other floating tool?
If you're in the public space, you're standing on the boat. The top of the boat is called the deck, so that's why it's the open deck. Because it's the deck of the boat, and then above that is where they built the buildings.
So what supports the buildings?
Mass. Running straight from the bottoms of the boats straight up to the tops of the buildings. There's quite a few of them in each one. And there's also staircases and ladders and whatnot.
Okay, I see.
So, like, half the place is built on stilts.
Ah, yes. Alright.
And it's not dark because it's not really super tightly packed, and the light filters between between the buildings onto the open decks of the boats.
Okay, so it's like this.
Yeah.
Alright, I get it now.
Do you like that idea, or do you more like the outer layer around this, which is just a whole bunch of boats moored together?
Well, like, presumably the boat on which the players are actually going to sail then would be like a traveling boat moored on the outer ring of the flotilla.
Yeah, there's sort of like a designated dock area, but really people just park their boats at the edge, set up a gangway to the nearest boat, and if you get parked in, you have to negotiate with whoever parked you in.
Alright. So somebody, like, parked their boat to move into the flotilla as a permanent resident, and then sold their boat for Genin and the crew. I don't actually know how to pronounce Genin, we'll get that cleared up. But basically, this situation is plausible.
Yeah. I mean, if you think it's plausible, then, that situation. Okay.
The poor bloke getting mugged, his back is against the water. This would happen in the public space.
Yes. And
Okay.
there'd be a ceiling above, and there'd be a railing there. Because people would have railings on the edges of their ships. So, like, this part is just like the deck of a ship, except the ship is square, and there's masts running up to the ceiling above, which is the floor of the building above that.
So there's a railing. Gangway.
I mean, we could make the gaps in between the ships like 10 feet wide rather than just 5, and then it'd be more realistic that people wouldn't want to jump across.
Okay.
And I think it would be more realistic in terms of just like making sure the ships don't crash into each other. But the primary purpose of the gaps in between the ships is making sure the ships don't crash into each other.
Understandable. So then his back is against a fence, which is arguably worse.
Yeah, so like he could be thrown overboard.
So the only implausible part is that this happens right next to the Rootin' Tootin' Tavern. In reality, it would happen beneath the Rootin' Tootin' Tavern.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking with the cathedral, because it's such a big, tall building that instead of being built on top of the boat, like most of the other ones, it's instead got a like a balcony around it. So like there's the cathedral, and it's on a boat, and there's a balcony around the boat that makes up its open deck. So there's actually a space to stand outside the windows.
So the cathedral is on the open deck layer.
Yes.
And then there's just, like...
And then there's a walkway around the cathedral that's maybe 10 feet wide, and then there's another railing.
I'm just gonna draw one for the sake of less work. But yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be to scale.
I mean, in honesty, it should be, hey, like 5 feet wide. I was saying 10 feet wide so that, like, somebody could squeeze past somebody.
You can squeeze past your allies with no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want it to be that, like, hey, you can block the whole thing with one guy. Wanted it
It's okay,
to be
they
a
don't
little
have
bit
tower shields in 5th edition.
Tower shields.
You remember that. You remember that encounter. There was never a 5-foot wide hallway ever again.
I mean, it's not like you can squeeze a guy past a 5-foot 1-inch hallway.
Whatever. Alright, so... What if there was another encounter where when they got to their boat, they saw pirates attempting to steal it?
I'm sorry, what?
What if when the party gets to their ship, there was a combat encounter where they had to prevent pirates from stealing it?
Oh yeah, they can totally do that.
Okay, so...
I mean, there would be a lot of different people trying to steal the ship. I'm thinking there's a lot of different people trying to steal all the ships. Like, residents trying to flee, like,
Bree gets to name the ship, probably. Or not.
I mean...
Ship needs a cool name regardless, because it's going to be kind of a big deal.
Cool ship names. I mean, we could go classic Queen Anne's Revenge.
That's Pirates of the Caribbean?
Nope. That's actual pirates. That's the name of Blackbeard's ship. See, not all my pirate lore is from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wait a second. Something very important.
What?
Where's Pirate Speak?
It's right near English. Right above. English E. Oh, lag.
Ah. Streamer breaks Minecraft. What he does will surprise you.
What?
I think I broke mine. Oh, here we go.
Oh no, it's a bit of lag while it changes languages. A turn to the fight. Chunk of glass. Rigging. Leading post. Right on your sign. I love just reading whatever pops up on the screen. Although one
We
thing
should
that
use the
doesn't really
word
make...
fortune in the name somehow. I don't know, because I want to feel like once they get to the ship and sail away, it's a good omen, you know?
Well,
Like Fortune's Flight or something. How's that for a boat name?
it's a bit on the nose.
Two on the nose? Alright.
I was thinking, I mean, heck, we could call it Mermaid's Fortune and put a mermaid,
Nah.
what are those things called? We could call it Queen Anne's Fortune. Pirate ship name. Wait a minute.
The fearful Grail of Revenge is definitely going to be a magical artifact in this campaign.
The fearful Grail of Revenge. Oh man, we gotta put a note of that. I like how I get your messages before you finish typing them.
The Hellborn Sea Rovers. Nah. The Liberty Dragon?
I'm sorry, what?
One of them I saw was the Liberty Dragon. That's alright.
Dragon's Fortune?
Maybe Dragon's Flight?
Nah, I think Flight is a bit on the nose.
Okay.
I
don't know, but Dragon's Fortune... That's, like, very focused on money, you know? Dragon's Wing?
Fortunate Dragon?
Just the dragon? I don't know.
Ah. The Dragoon's Harpoon?
How do I make it, like...
Full screen?
I'm just gonna restart. Now, like, I want it windowed but maximized.
Oh.
Just never press F11, whatever you do.
What is ever? What does F11 do again?
Full screen.
Ah, aren't you starting in full screen? Main hook, starwood. Can you drag the edges?
That's lame and I don't want to do it.
Can you drag it to the top of the screen and make it go full scale? You know how to
Respond,
do
you
that?
fuck. There. Got it. Land ho.
Land ho!
How about the sea dragon?
Well, ain't that just a dragon turtle? Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, but dragon turtle doesn't sound as cool.
I know. Should we give it,
I like how your pirate accent is just Irish.
Should we give it, should we give it, flaming, ballistas? Perhaps.
This is the most piratey song of all time. Get ready.
All for me grog?
All for me grog, me jolly, jolly grog. All for me beer and tobacco.
I can't hear it. You'll have to send me a link so I can listen to it myself.
Far across the western ocean I must...
You can't hear it?
Yeah, it keeps coming, popping in and out.
Actually, I might get copyright striked if I play the whole thing.
What was the name? Of the song?
All for me grog. Does this one have the where's me wife? Yes, okay.
I found it myself.
Make sure you listen to the version by the Dubliners. I don't want to get copyright striked. So.
Oh, you're still playing it?
Well, alright, what else? I'm not still playing it. So what else do we... Right, they get ambushed by, like... Let's say there's a pirate captain here. A strong...
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah? Nah. I mean, we need the party to level up before they can fight the captain.
Yeah, they'll level up after the first combat encounter, right?
I mean, that was my plan, but it
Yeah, we
wasn't
can-
yours.
I'm fine with that. I just want
Alright.
there to be one fight at level 1, at least. And like
I mean,
10
we
pirates
can
at
have
level...
more than one fight at level 1 if you want.
I feel
we
like
could have-
10 pirates is enough to
Oh,
reach level
yeah,
2.
that's the maximum for
Yeah.
level 1.
We throw 10 pirates at them, they level up, and then...
Oh, let me consult. Whoops.
It's okay if it doesn't perfectly follow the XP curve. We're the DMs. We can fudge the rules. Keeping track of XP is kinda lame anyways. Like, the only reason it's useful is for punishing players who don't show up, and that is something I plan to do. Like, that's gonna be my strategy for encouraging people to actually show up to games. Like, if you suddenly bail out at the last minute, you aren't getting experience points for that session. If you can, like, if you tell me well in advance why you aren't going to be there, then it's like, then I'm willing to be more flexible about that.
Alright, but your character better be doing something worthy of gaining XP.
Well, like...
Like fighting mountain lions or something. Where would you find a mountain lion?
It's just so that, like, I don't want to punish people for being busy and having busy lives. I just want to punish people for, like, not communicating, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
So on a matter of, like, fairness... Well, I mean... I'm sure people will understand if they don't get XP for games they didn't play. I feel like that's reasonable.
Yeah.
And if there's a level imbalance, we can... Like, the DM guide has rules for that. I think you just take the average level, basically.
I think Xanthanar's guide has...
Yeah, Xanathar's guide just has everything, doesn't it?
It's a very short book, but it has a lot, alright?
I think the reason that I'm angry about Xanathar's guide is that there were certain classes that were, like, bad. And instead of actually fixing them in the player's handbook, they just made new, better versions of the classes, which they expect people to buy instead. Like, instead of making an underpowered build better, they just made it obsolete. That's what I don't like. Like Warlocks. It used to be, in order to be a good Pact of the Blade Warlock, you had to start out as a fighter or a paladin or something, and then switch to Warlock afterwards, and you had to work very hard to make your damage output exceed Eldritch Blast spamming. But now, every Pact of the Blade Warlock is a Hexblade, and if you don't have Xanathar's Guide, you're just not a good Blade Warlock. That's why I'm salty about Xanathar's Guide.
I mean... I purchased it, so I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, that's fair. And like...
I purchased it with my own money that I earned with the sweat of my own brow.
Yeah. So I think the main reason that I dislike Divine Sorcerers is just because it came from Xanathar's Guide. Like, Divine Soul Sorcerer, okay, it's a cool class. Its main drawback is that the more cleric spells you take, the less sorcerer spells you have. And sorcerers do not get a lot of spells known.
I suppose, yeah.
Like, wizards know roughly twice as many spells as a sorcerer does.
I mean, obviously, in a fight between a sorcerer and a wizard, the wizard would win every time.
Debatable. Sorcerer has better action economy.
Yeah, with twin spells?
Yeah.
I still want to try twin spelling True Resurrection or something really expensive like that, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't double the material components. It only doubles the effect.
That's a really cool idea, actually. Yeah, you could totally do that as a Divine Soul. Alright, I don't have an objection to Divine Soul anymore. I'm just not gonna tell people about it because I don't have Xanathars.
I mean,
Because, like,
I purchased the actual book, so I don't have a PDF I could send you.
and I'm not buying it because I don't want to support that kind of power creep, you know? Like, if Blade Warlocks were bad, fix Blade Warlocks, don't replace them. They did, like, it was the same way with Rangers. Rangers are underpowered, and instead of fixing the problems with Beastmasters, they just made new Rangers, which you have to play in order to be optimal.
Well, that's just the problem. You don't have to be optimal.
Yeah, but, like, you're underpowered unless you buy Xanathars. And that sucks.
I think of it more along the lines of you get a lot of power if you do buy Xanathar's Guide, but you know your DM can adjust if you're underpowered, quote unquote.
Yeah. I think, okay, so here's the problem with Rangers, right? So, the animal companion that you get as a Beastmaster Ranger does decent damage, but it has very low health. It's pretty easy to replace it. So, like, the way that you're supposed to play a Beastmaster Ranger is you treat your animal companion like it's expendable, because it is. But that conflicts with what people actually want when they play Rangers. Like, they want their animal companion to be an integral part of the character, and not just an expendable attack animal. You know?
You want them to love and care for their bear rather than just use it as the meat shield it is.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to fix, though. Just make the animal's health scale with your level, and that solves most of the problem.
It doesn't scale with your level anyway?
No, that's the problem.
That's...
The animal companion that you get as a Beastmaster Ranger just has, like, slightly above default health, I think. But you can replace it for free. So it's an expendable meat mook.
That's incredibly odd.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why Beastmasters are underpowered.
Well, I suppose if we both agree on the house rule, we can, if we had any rangers.
We don't.
Although, I suppose there could be enemy rangers. They could have sharks.
But enemy rangers don't have to use the Beastmaster rules, because we can just have a ranger and a shark.
True. And we can have the shark properly leveled to fight the party.
Should we add another combat encounter?
I was certainly thinking about having two combat counters at level 1. What we could do is combine a few of our ideas into a single idea, just to represent the chaos.
Okay, yeah.
This is not... Let me compose my voice for just a moment. Alright. I was going somewhere I did not want to go with my voice. I was going down, not up.
You'll get there.
Well, is this better?
Yes.
Is it still Scottish?
No. It's cute.
Oh man. I'll keep working on keeping it Scottish and keeping it.
Wait, you want it to be Scottish?
Well, I mean, you said it was Scottish, and I thought it was cute.
No, you said it was Scottish, and I said that it was just cute.
Are you sure that's the way it was?
It's not for
You don't need to try to sound Scottish.
I'm Scottish, and I say it's not for spooky game
Zach,
night.
stop touching me, please.
I'll
Get
stop
your
touching
hands
you as soon as
off
you
him.
come. As soon as you come, it's spooky game night. No more touching. Come on, dude.
I'm talking with my friend. We've got something to plan for tomorrow.
We'll plan it and then let's go.
What game are we playing? Zach, what are we playing?
Probably Outlast 2, Aaron. Nope. It's Cry of Fear.
What's that?
Yeah, that's what we'll find out.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to spooky game night until we're done here. Don't worry.
Aye, Captain. Do you want to, like, pause time in-game so we don't have to deal with the day and night cycle? But what I was, what I was thinking for our second encounter here is, I had an idea, and chaos. We were going to have.
Yes.
I was going to have maybe some poor bloke about to get slaughtered by some burger cultists, and there's also some pirates who are about to slaughter the lot of them. And then there's the party. And because the cultists will be fighting the pirates, we could have more than 10 enemies, if we wanted.
It kind of
Or-
depends on how much health the party has at the time. Like, we'll have to adjust the number.
Yeah, but they've got a cleric if any of them take damage. So,
And
cultists and bandits are almost interchangeable.
knowing Christine, she's probably taking life domain, which means the party is going to be topped off on health.
Oh yeah, she's taking. Actually, I can't remember if she was taking. Like we talked about it. I can't remember exactly which. Does life domain give you heavy armor proficiency and proficiency with martial weapons?
That's war domain, I think.
No, there's a couple of domains that do that.
I'm pretty sure life domain doesn't.
Or did she choose Tempest domain?
Oh, that would make sense, given her,
Yeah, I
background.
think she chose Tempest domain because her god is a dragon turtle.
Okay,
We
that
can
makes sense.
summon we can summon a storm of steamy water.
I'd
out
like
of
to
its
play
mouth.
a death domain cleric at some point.
Yes, you wanted to play your neutral channel negative energy cleric.
Yeah, just
Suppose
like
there isn't channel negative energy in.
well, like the point is that I just want to break this stereotype that cleric equals healer. You know?
Yeah, and I want to break the stereotype that sorcerer equals damage dealer.
I've been working very hard to break the stereotype that wizard equals damage dealer, but you just can't compete with fireball, you know? It's such an important spell in a wizard's repertoire.
I mean, of course,
Like, it's not as good as, like, fly or spider crime, but it's pretty good. Spider crime is a homebrew spell my DM invented that makes all spiders in the area commit crimes. Because I mispronounced spider climb once and he invented it to bully me. Unfortunately, I don't know this spell. You know what's a really good third level spell? Leoman's Tiny Hut. Like, basically it lets you take a long rest anywhere. Because once the party has entered the hut, you are impervious to all possible harassment.
Oh
It's
yeah,
great.
they did that on Critical Role with Mordecai's Magnificent Mansion.
Oh, that one's better. Higher level, though. I'll
Yeah.
probably learn it at some point because I'm a conjuration wizard anyways. Mordekainen's Magnificent Mansion is one of the most flamboyant conjuration spells out there.
Oh yeah, you summon a spectral door. Also, there's spells in Xanthanar's Guide that I have not gone over.
That have not gone over? What do you mean?
That I have not read through.
Usually when it comes to spellcasters, I only tell them about the default lists. It's sort of an indirect nerf.
I mean,
Every time a new spell book comes out, every time a new splat book comes out, all spellcasters get better regardless of their build, because they have more options now.
well,
Also, it's just easier to
Xanthanar's
keep...
Guide isn't really a splat book, in my opinion. It's an expansion to the game.
That's the definition of a splat book. And by the way, I should clarify. I'm not banning spells from Xanathar's, I'm just not going to tell the players about them.
Fine. Also, I'm a big believer in the idea that if you want to do something with magic that there isn't exactly a spell for it, there should be a spell made for it.
Yeah, like spider crime.
You didn't want to make spiders commit crimes. That doesn't count.
I kind of do. It's just that Misty Step is better. Also, the DM told me that if I learned Counterspell, every spellcaster capable of casting level 3 spells would also learn how to cast Counterspell. But if I didn't, they wouldn't.
Now that's just cheap.
Well, basically what it means...
Counterspell is amazing.
Well, no, but here's the thing. My spells will never be countered. There's a trade-off.
Because you can counterspell the counterspell.
Well, so one of the easiest ways to make the party hate the big bad evil wizard is, they're trying to chase him, they cast a spell to make them go faster or teleport or fly or something, and the wizard counterspells it. That will make the party instantly hate that villain. I know that's never going to happen, because basically the deal that the DM presented me with was, nobody can cast Counterspell. If you can't cast Counterspell, that won't be ruined.
I mean, I really like the idea of more spells.
Yeah.
So having with so many spellcasters, having counterspell in our repertoire, especially for villains that know the party is full of spellcasters and are spellcasters themselves, having counterspell is a really good tool to show the players that the enemies learn.
Yeah, no, okay.
And
Let
that
me
as
clarify.
word spreads that this band of roving spellcasters, there will just be more and more her enemies who know of the party's exploits and how to exploit them.
Let me clarify. I disagree with the deal. I think it's pretty lame that the DM tried to convince me not to take Counterspell. In a world with so much magic, Counterspell should definitely exist, and our villains should definitely have it. Especially, the, dorky wizard with a pet dragon. Sir Mythos's counterpart. That guy is definitely going to have Counterspell, and he's definitely going to Counterspell the first thing that Sir Mythos casts.
I really like the idea that, actually, well then we'd have to save the encounter for later, because Counterspell is a 3rd level spell, correct? By default?
Okay, yeah. He's going to Counterspell the first fireball that Sir Mythos casts.
Well, why would Sir Mythos cast a fireball? Unless they were fighting. We don't know if they will fight or not. They could get along quite well. I mean...
I was under the impression that this party was going to be, bad people.
No, that... The only bad person in this party is the lawful evil sorceress. Divine soul sorceress.
Right.
Because she literally wants to torture things. That's her goal in life. Torture things, raise minions from the dead so that they can kill things again.
Everything is...
So the rest of the party are just other adventurers. So I'm thinking they're rivals. They compete for the same quests. They team up for the same quests. If I'm sorry, I'm just a little frazzled because had a long day at work.
It's okay.
It's still early enough. I'm gonna go get some caffeine.
Alright, have fun.
Well, I mean, I can still talk to you.
Okay.
It's just the TV's on, so that might make some noise.
That's fine.
Alright, suppose, if you want to edit the numbers of our second encounter based on the party speed and their turn health, we certainly can. We can also decide in the moment if the cultists will be joining the players to fight the pirates, if the pirates will be... the pirates are going to fight everyone.
Yeah, I was under the impression that out of the 3 groups, all of them would be hostile to each other.
Well, yes, that's what I was... The original plan is to have them all hostile to each other. Have maybe 3, maybe 4 cultists, and 13, 14 pirates.
I was hoping for a somewhat equal number of cultists and pirates, so that it would be more chaotic that way, right? Because, is there a CR difference between cultists and pirates?
Mm-hmm.
Then there should be the same number of them, approximately.
But that could make the fight really difficult if they end up with a temporary alliance and fight the party. obviously, hey, when you're on a battlefield, so fighting between three sides, the two weaker sides will gang up on the stronger foe if they are smart enough.
We just won't have a ton of them. Like, we're not gonna do, like, 10 on 10. You know, maybe, like, 5 pirates, 5 cultists or something. And then if they manage to spare the poor bloke, he gives them, like, 25 gold because they saved his life.
Well, if they don't, the poor bloke would have 25 gold on them. Also, this is level 1. Gold is not super common. A single gold is like $20. No.
How much is gold worth?
Because most items can be bought for silvers. Like, you can buy an outfit of clothing for maybe 2 silvers. You can buy a knight of rounds. Well, no, you can buy a round for a silver, I think.
We need to look at something that's relatively... What's something that has an invariant price?
An axe? Standard wood chopping axe? Pretty sure it would set you back.
Spyglasses, for some reason, are 1,000 gold. But a 2-person tent is 2 gold.
Well, I mean, I suppose the glass would be hard to grind and
A mirror, though,
expensive to make.
is only worth 5 gold. It makes no sense, to me at least.
There's a lot more manual labor involved in making a spyglass than just simply polishing a piece of metal so that it's shiny.
Whatever.
I had State Hill mirrors.
So how much is, like, a day's worth of room and board? One day of rations is 5 SP, but how much does it cost to live?
Well, if you the one example that I know is a night at a particularly rich hotel will set you back 10 gold, but that's going to be the equivalent to several $100s.
So it says that if you have a comfortable lifestyle, it costs about 2 gold per day.
Comfort, this is not that kind of level.
I know, that's aristocratic.
Aristocratic is comfortable?
No, comfortable is 2 gold. Aristocratic, like the super nice hotel,
Yeah.
that's
What's the
10.
price for that? 10. Again.
But, like, you saved this guy's life, so he's giving you a sort of substantial gift. See, here's the thing. If the poor bloke gets killed, like, if he gets killed by cultists, they're probably gonna drag the body off somewhere. And if he gets killed by pirates, they're looting the body. So you only get that 10 gold if he survives.
Well, I mean, what if they kill everyone?
Then you also get the 10 gold.
I think he should have information. That's a valuable resource that could be lost if he's killed.
Yeah, that's better.
Like, directions. Which way they should be going. By the way, how do they come to, own the sea dragon?
So I'm thinking, like, some sort of eccentric adventurer used to sail around on the high seas on the Sea Dragon. But then he got old and he sort of wanted to settle down. So he moved into the flotilla and, like, sent out a letter by carrier pigeon saying that he left a message in a bottle saying that it was for sale. And used, like, clerical blessings or something to make sure it actually reached someone. And lo and behold, it did. Gives... let's just say gives a favor. Because it's very, like, video gamey to be like, you saved my life! As a token of appreciation, let me mark on your map where I know the location of some buried treasure. That's a little video gamey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's just gonna say something along the lines of, you saved my life, how could I repay you?
Yeah, and then he can, if they don't know what he can do, he can offer directions to where they're going. They can... I mean...
Where are they going?
Well, they would head back to the ship, right?
Yeah, but where do they go after that?
Well, they're hunting, they're hunting magic carp, right? Is that their first?
I like, magic carp was gonna be like a god in the form of a fish, right? Yeah, like their first thing should just be like a fairly normal buried treasure run. I feel.
All right. I mean, Bree would know.
No, you know, that's a good point. Bree's character probably set out specifically to look for the fish.
Well, I mean, we could have that, or we could have Bree set out to put together this crew to hunt some buried treasure she heard of. If we want to keep it simple for the first one.
Well, like, okay.
Or do we want to have the overarching goal?
Yeah, I'm thinking they sort of...
So I guess all we really need is just a place name of where this fish could possibly be.
And a name for it.
Well, they just heard it was a magic fish that looks like it's made of gold and jewels.
This is like the special fish god, right?
I mean, I'm still thinking that it's just a magic fish.
Well, like, I wouldn't mind if the party knew, like, the big, important goal right away. And, like, that was the motivation for why the captain set off in the first place.
I'm thinking more along the lines of the fishes are sort of like a halfway point.
Okay. Yeah.
So like, it's sort of like an appetizer.
Okay,
it's like
yeah.
a first course.
I like that, yeah.
Like,
you heard
you
of
give
a
them
pond.
this first course to, whet their appetite, and kind of satiate it a little bit, but along the way of finding this fish, they get sucked into, politics and invasions and oh boy. Shouldn't it just be a faraway island rather than a not too far away island? To actually give them some work?
It's far away, but not unreasonably far. Like, it's a matter of months, not years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think anywhere in the world that's been actually charted is years away. I mean, they have boats. It's not like they're swimming. I thought it was a golden fish. I mean,
silver looks better.
Red.
The jewels are the important part.
I mean, it could be a platinum fish. Silver sounds better.
Yeah.
It could be a platinum fish, but silver sounds better. According to some sources, it may have magical properties as well. I haven't quite nailed down the girly sneeze, however.
Girl sneezes are like one of the greatest fucking mysteries of life. When a person with a Y chromosome sneezes, it's like a storm, it's like a tempest. But when a person with two X chromosomes sneezes, it's like achoo! How the fuck do they do it? How do they sneeze in a cute way?
I mean, not all of them do.
Yeah, that's a good point. There are some women who have loud, nasty sneezes. As
like myself.
Yeah.
These read the fish of gods. Perhaps. You don't know. Make sure that you're not giving away too many details. Like,
good point.
We're being purposely vague.
Yeah, how do I respond to this? Because you basically just guessed the right answer.
I mean, fine, I'll do this.
Okay.
This is how you deal with people guessing the correct answer. Suggest something else is the correct answer, and lead them astray.
Is this acceptable to say?
Well, I mean, I'm...
Yeah. You give them a suggestion that's not true. You know, we could speak in the Dungeon Master's screen.
We can, if
This is
you
like
want to,
our special secret.
If,
Yes, it's okay for us to know that they're speaking, but they can't enter this channel without our permission.
also, just watching the little green bubbles light up, and it's just like...
Yeah. Wait, I can't hear you anymore. What happened?
I shut up. That's what's happened.
Ah, okay. Coconut is typing.
Wait,
Session
how's
announcement.
Coconut's type?
He's a barbarian, not a literal coconut.
Oh, right. That's his dad. His dad is a literal coconut tree. Hmm. We need to come up with a name for this place. Somewhere where people haven't heard of.
Well, if not a lot of people have heard of it, it probably doesn't have, like, a proper name, you know?
Well, there's a lot of places not a lot of people have been in that have proper names. Although they usually have myths, and people have heard of the myths. This is a place that doesn't have very many myths. Perhaps it's a nameless isle.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not... It's a sort of obscure location, so why would it have, like, an official name? Maybe they get to name it, or maybe they get to hear it from the fish.
Yeah, that would work too. Although, a fish would name the pond, not the island.
Good point.
So the island would end up named after the pond.
I see nothing wrong with that.
And
So,
the pond's name is the Crystalline Eye.
the porcelain eye.
Crystalline, like a crystal.
Right.
And it's perfectly clear, and it's kind of oval-shaped, but its sides are straight and cut like a diamond. Like a crystal.
Since the players, like, can basically go wherever they want once they set sail, there's a very high probability that they just go the opposite direction, which they expect us to go after, like, not immediately, but at some point in the future. It's like, all I'm saying is it's basically going to be impossible to railroad these people. So we might just
except
want
I was totally planning on railroading them by only describing one destination and then having our second adventure be a random encounter.
So here's my idea. Alright? So we come up with, like, a list of islands. Like, they don't have to be complicated, just a few sentences. And maybe, like, a description of, you know, what they'll find there. We come up with a list of islands, but we don't define their locations. Then when the players just sail off in a random direction, we can just pop an island off the list, and that's where they end up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like it's
not going to be good for internal consistency between how far away each island is from the other islands.
It's not going to be... Well, yeah, but, like, after the players first encounter an island, its location is fixed from then on.
Okay. So we'll have to plot it on a map.
Yeah, but it only gets added to the map after the players run into it.
I'm definitely thinking along the lines of the players would obviously set sail in the direction of the only destination we have, given for them.
Well, yeah, that's
They don't know what they'll find any other direction because they haven't asked us.
But the point is that at some point in a future session, they may just set off in a direction. Like, basically, they're railroaded for now, but not in the future.
Yeah.
Which
like,
I think...
I fully expect once they start learning of destinations, they will start island skipping back and forth between, just to use stuff. But,
yeah.
And when they get bored, I fully expect them to just sail off in a direction, and then, bam! New island!
Yeah.
But, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a problem if they try to sail off in a new direction in the middle of an adventure.
Well, I was just making sure we were on the same page about that. I didn't I expected you to approve of the plan. That sounds a little conceited, but it was just a matter of,
Well, it's either I approved of
that.
the plan or we worked on a new plan together.
Well, yeah.
So,
I was describing our system for what we would do when that happened. We have a list of islands, we pop one off.
you're the one with the plan, and I'm the one without a plan, so thus your plan wins.
Haha, yes. Winning by default is the best way to win.
As opposed to simply being bravely default.
Bravely Default is a good game if you like level grinding. I'm gonna change the language back to English.
I've stopped watching the stream at this point.
So are we done? Is there anything else we need to know?
Well... Well, what time? Because I want to do, 4 o'clock, just to make sure I'm home.
We might want to start later in the evening, because if we start at 4, then I only have 2 hours until dinner.
Alright.
So, like, I would prefer if we started at 6 or later. Yeah.
Alright. I mean, I suppose a lot of us would be stopping for dinner.
Well, like, my dinner is always at 6:10, and...
And you can't hence skip it.
Yeah, pretty much. So...
Oh, boy. I mean, we should... Um, 6 o'clock, your time is
No,
5 o'clock.
6 o'clock in Lake Zurich time.
Oh, okay. So that'd be like 6:30.
Central.
Are you typing it? Alright.